Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our April 6th meeting, Traffic and Transportation Committee. Start with the reading of the guidelines. My name is Eddie Ramos, Chair of the Traffic and Transportation Committee. This is Bronx Community Board 7's Traffic and Transportation Committee meeting. Committee agenda is as follows. Meeting guidelines, introductions and attendance, review of previous minutes if applicable, follow up on the previous month if applicable, new business from DOT updates, MTA updates, TD11 updates, capital and expense budget request agency responses. Next meeting date will be May 4th, 2023. And discussion on the next agenda, and finally the adjournment. On March 21st, 2023, Mayor Adams issued Executive Order 363, extending the state of emergency through April 21st, 2023. Accordingly, boards are able to continue under the state of emergency section of the Video Conferencing Law, Chapter 56, Part WW. This allows board to continue meeting remotely, and video recording will be made available on our website. If you're calling into the meeting, the conference controls while joining from a landline or a cell dial-up number. To hear all your available commands, you can put *6. To mute or unmute yourself, *9. I'm sorry, got thrown off a little. Rewind that. It's ** on your phone to hear your available commands. *6 will mute or unmute yourself. *9 is your virtual raise hand button. How we will run this meeting is as follows. A code of conduct for meetings, penalties, and actions. Bronx Community 7 has the right to remove and or ask a member of the public to leave the meeting or block participation of anyone who engages in inappropriate conduct, including but not limited to obscene or of offensive images, language, personal attacks, threats, or any other behavior that reasonably impacts the orderly administration of the meeting. Reported offenses will be reviewed by the board's executive committee and or any other assigned committee. For the ban of the participant, the amount of time to be determined by the above committee. In the event of repeated disruptive behavior, if the person outbursts or attacks continue, this will be considered disturbing the peace and the authorities shall be summoned. Everyone besides the speaker or presenter will stay muted throughout the meeting, and after each presentation is over, I will inquire if committee members have questions, or committee members will signify they have a question by pressing the raise hand button on the screen or request to speak on the chat. When the chair opens the floor to members of the public who have joined through the online link, will be able to ask questions and make brief statements on the item after each presentation. And the committee has had an opportunity to ask clarifying questions by pressing the raise hand button on your screen for the Zoom, or request to speak through the chat, or when the chair opens the floor. Only those recognized by the chair of the committee will be allowed to speak during the allotted time. We will stay on topic with the agenda items. Any other items will be acknowledged by the chair in new business or addressed at the next meeting granted there is time and the committee agrees on the topic. Following the questions, discussions, and public comment portion, the committee will begin their discussions after each presentation agenda and will conclude with the decision to vote on a recommendation. When the agenda is finished, the meeting will be adjourned. If there are any questions related to the meeting software or to our process, please use the chat function or raise hand function or contact the deputy district manager. Okay. Having read that, next item we're going to is introductions and attendance. Okay. Edgar Ramos, present. Eric Asensio. You're muted, Eric.
Eric Asensio present.
Thank you. Lowell Green,
Lowell Green is present.
Andrew Leosa, and Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry present.
Okay, thank you. I know it was kind of a short notice, but there was a sending of the minutes. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at the minutes that were sent out this evening. I put in a set for March, right? We're still looking over February because of the disturbance and everything else that happened that month. Hopefully that should be done and we'll be able to present those minutes for next month's meeting. But for right now, we just have March's minutes that was sent out today.
I'm looking at.
I see everyone's muted, so if anyone is saying anything, I'm not hearing anything.
I was looking it over. I'm almost done.
Okay. And Jahira, welcome to our meeting.
Motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Thank you, Eric. We'll go through the roll. Edgar Ramos, agree. Eric Asensio.
Someone needs to second the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I second the motion. Daisy Perry.
Thank you, Daisy. All right, so Edgar Ramos, I agree with the motion. Eric Asensio.
Eric Asensio agrees, approves.
Okay, Lowell Green.
Lowell Green accepts the motion.
Thank you, Lowell. Andrew's not here, and Daisy Perry.
Daisy Perry accepts.
All right, thank you, Daisy. All right, so our March minutes are agreed upon. On the new business, right? Apparently, DOT had come to us about they needed a letter of support for a budgetary motion that they were putting forward. They unfortunately the time frame they needed the letter back by didn't allow us to discuss it here at the community board level. But it had to do with the Safe Streets project that they're doing. But they were able to continue without it. They would have preferred to have the letter. You know, it's kind of good to know that they think we matter. And they were able to continue without the letter to present to the state. We don't have anything from DOT. We don't have anything pending from MTA. The only thing I have, as far as an update from the MTA, has to do with the D line. This is the last weekend, I believe, for now, right? As of Friday, March 7th at 11:30 p.m., continuing through Monday, April 10th at 5 a.m. Right, the D service running between Coney Island Avenue, Stillwell, will end at 161st Street and Yankee Stadium. They'll be having a shuttle bus running between the Marshall Parkway, Norwood, 205th Street Station, for service between 161st Street and Bedford Park. They suggest you try a nearby 4 train, and for Norwood and 205, Norwood, 205th Street, they suggest that you take the shuttle bus. And the transfer point will be 161st Street and Yankee Stadium. That's the only update we have. With all the stuff going on in the city, TD11 also was unable to meet today. We have the capital and expense, the agency responses. We don't have, I didn't prepare a presentation for that. So I want to table that for the April meeting. I'm sorry, for the May meeting, if that's okay. So I want to make a motion.
I will suggest that we also share these comments with our MTA representatives. So maybe we can have a discussion with her about it.
Okay, so we'll invite her to the May meeting. So hopefully she will be here for that, and we can make it a more productive thing.
Because you know, like a lot of the responses are basically to talk to the MTA directly about them. So
right.
it will be so we should really just share that with her and let her tell us when she will be, maybe she will be ready to, well, maybe start in May with a few of them, and then if we don't finish all of them in that meeting, then maybe in June.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Eric. I thank you for that suggestion. So Carla, if we could work on sending out an invitation to her for the May meeting, I'd appreciate that. Chad, I see you have your hand up. Is it in reference to one of the agency reports?
Hi, good evening. No, I just needed clarity on the D train detour. I was just trying to follow. So going into Manhattan on the 8th Avenue line, is that on the weekends only, or? That's
this weekend, starting Friday at 11:30 p.m. through Monday 5 a.m. Because they're doing track work along the D line. They're doing station cleanliness. They're doing a lot of work along the D line. So they're shutting it down at 161st. So they're going to be doing they're running a shuttle bus from 161st Street that'll go to the Norwood station, and they suggest that anyone needing any of the other stations along up till Bedford Park to just take the 4 line and get off at the corresponding stop. But for the 205th Street station, they'll have a shuttle bus leaving from 161st Street that'll allow you to get to that Norwood station.
From Moshulu Parkway. The shuttle bus leaves from Moshulu Parkway to Norwood.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so going into Manhattan wouldn't be a problem as long as I can transfer by 161.
Oh yeah, the shuttle bus.
Oh, okay.
Parkway.
I got it. Just want to be sure. Thank you.
Good. All right. Thank you, Chad. At least I know people are listening to me.
I always listen to you. Thank you.
All right. So I guess we'll do that for the May meeting, right? We'll present. We'll have MTA here, so we can, those items that are related directly to transit, we can directly present to her just to get a response. I'm gonna try to send her something ahead of time with some of the questions, only because it just makes a little more sense. That way they'll come with responses ready, rather than everything being, well, let me see. Just to have a better conversation, if that makes sense. Okay. Do we have any agenda items for our next meeting in May? Any other suggestions? Dad, do you have something?
I do. I was waiting for the committee members to go first.
Just can I make, and I don't know
Yes,
where
Lowell, go
to
ahead.
go. Can we ask people, maybe at the community board member meeting, general meeting, to ask members of the community board to look at parking restrictions around their local schools and give a report back at June? Because I've been looking at some schools around us, and a lot of the schools do not have, no parking during school hours sign. So there are a lot of cars parked there that have no reason to be parking there. And there's not an open space in front of a school to put in a school bus if it needs to, load
Let me
kids
ask
on.
you.
and off.
Let me ask you a
or to-
question, Lowell. Are those Board of Ed schools, or are those charter schools?
Yes, the Board of Ed schools.
Okay. I know, because
And I don't know what the restrictions are for charter schools,
right,
because some charter schools have the no parking signs as if they were schools.
right.
And I'm just asking for people to look their neighborhoods and see what's going on, because I'm concerned that if an ambulance needs to show up, there is no place for an ambulance to show up. And then if it has to park in the street and or school buses, nothing's gonna move.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
But aren't those parking spaces occupied by the school during those hours from 7 to 4? So how would a bus be able to park there anyway?
Well, so what they do sometimes is, in some of the schools, like I know the one on Jerome by Van Cortlandt Park South, is that school has a specific area for buses that's a no standing, and then there's the no parking with the school restrictions. So that, because a lot of the students need additional help getting on and off the buses at that particular school, so they have a spot for the buses for that reason there. That, which I think was the old PS 52, was it, on that corner? Chad, you have something?
Yes. So I don't know if this was brought up, but I'm noticing that the bikes and the scooters that are making deliveries to the fast food restaurants and businesses, they often park there. First off, they're not always employees of the business. They're probably third party.
Right.
But when they park on the sidewalk, they take up valuable space on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And slowly but surely, I've been hearing people starts to complain about not having much room to walk around and then having to navigate the bikes. And someone had suggested, what if there were markers made on the street side for the bikes to remain parked? Perhaps this is something that we could get some clarification on.
Okay. Yeah, that
I'm
would
just
have to be a question to DOT. I mean, I don't know if anyone's gonna be wanting to give up parking spaces in a community where parking is such a rarity. And the businesses that because what it is they basically stand by the businesses because there's certain places that are busier than others, right? So the closer they are to the business, the more likely they are that they're gonna get the order. So that's why when you go past McDonald's, there's 45 bikes in front of McDonald's. And they were having an issue with that. I know in the 4-6 precinct, and the NYPD came and cleared that out. But there's some spots and some on certain commercial streets that there's barely any room to walk already, and those bikes just line up like they're belong there.
Panda Express is the other one. And I even asked the manager there, this was like about a year ago. They told me that they had nothing to do with the bikes that park in front of the store, but
Right.
they do deliveries for them.
Right, because they're private businesses.
But couldn't
Yeah,
the business get ticketed or fined for the bikes being in front?
No, because they don't work for they either work for DoorDash or they work for Uber Eats. They're independent contractors, but they know there are certain businesses that have more business traffic than other businesses. So they'll set up in front of those businesses to do the deliveries.
So would it be different if they worked for the business?
Yeah, because then you can go to the business and say, listen, some businesses they set up a spot for their bikes for those guys, to set up to charge their bikes and everything. But the other businesses that don't, they don't have to make, they don't have to set up for people that don't work for them. That's part of the reason why the mayor is looking to make a bike port, right? Which was the situation with the newsstand on Fordham and Webster, right? They want to put a place where people, those bike riders, can be out of the path of people, but can be near the businesses that they service. So that's something that's being worked on by the city. I just don't know how they're going to be able to do that in certain areas where there's just nowhere for the bikes to go. But it is a concern,
Thanks.
and that's the reason for those bike hubs that they've been suggesting.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. You kind of disappointed me there, Chad, because I know you being so outspoken about the Board of Ed and with the Parents Association, figured you were gonna have something for me about about the bus stops for the Board of Ed. But
Oh, well, I can, but let me do my due diligence so that I can come back to you on that.
yeah,
But
because I know things have gotten worse with where PS 86 is, right? Because they added 340 behind it. Now they added 340 on the other side of it, and between that and the teachers from Walton, there's like nowhere for all those teachers to park. And then they added the bike rack, which makes it even less places for anyone to park. So
yeah, it's a mess over there.
Mhm.
But not even the principals have a solution.
yeah, yep, and it's gonna get worse once the construction starts at the Armory. But I guess we'll see what happens with that. All right. So being we don't have any more items for May's meeting, can we have a motion to end the meeting?
I move we end the meeting.
Thank you, Lo. Can we get a second?
We enjoy the meeting so much, we don't want to second it.
There's only one person left that can second. Daisy, please.
You could do it.
Huh?
Okay,
You could second.
second.
Thank you, Daisy. All right. Being the two members of the committee that are here have asked for the meeting to be adjourned. We end this meeting. Like I said, hopefully we'll be able to get some representation from the MTA for May's meeting, and then we can better address the items from the capital and expense budget request. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.